Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and well, as you can see, I'm looking great right now. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to give everyone an update because it's been a few days since I've been on YouTube, and that is largely because I have been working 24/7 at finishing our documentary on the reshot structure in Mauritania. So I've essentially been, just nonstop. I usually work 18 hours a day, but it's just been nonstop on one video all day, every day. And it's very frustrating. But I'm looking forward to getting it up because I know a lot of people have been looking forward to it. It's been months in the making, and I went broke going there. I'm continuously broke because I'm working on it and not working on other stuff, and there are very few to little to no donations coming in right now, so we're basically working on a shoestring to get you guys this documentary. So I just wanted to let everyone know because I did this interview with first I went to interview Stephen Moore, and then following Stephen Moore I interviewed Congressman Thomas Massey, then Ron Paul, and then Doug Casey, and then there's just been nothing for a couple days now. And we've gotten a few questions. Where are you? What are you doing? So I just wanted to let everyone know what was happening. And I do have an interview coming up in the morning or afternoon or something of the 28th. So we do have something going up on the gold markets, etc. But right now it's just focusing and tuning in on this one documentary. So for those interested, we're about an hour and 50 minutes in to our documentary on the reshot structure. We should be done in the next 2 days, but I want to make sure that this documentary is up by July 31st. I promised this month, and I did that kind of to force myself into a really terrible situation where I had no choice but to get the documentary up this month. So because I'm kind of rushed, I'm not cutting off as much as I'd like to, and it's a little bit more raw than I wanted it to be. I'm not scoring the film as far as I know now, unless I finish it earlier than I think. I don't think I'll be scoring the film, so there won't be any background music or anything like that. So it's going to be more of a raw documentary than I wanted, but nonetheless, this documentary really needs to go out and needs to be seen and needs to be known because it's just been non-stop for months trying to get this thing out. Jay Zima says, keep up the great work, Josh. Thank you very much. Marshmallow Duck says hi. Hello to you, Marshmallow Duck. Interesting name you got there. So for those just tuning in, I'm working on the reshot structure documentary. We're trying to get it up as soon as possible. I need it up by July 31st. We're kind of taking a break from posting videos because of it, which means that I'm bankrupt. I'm broke. But that's kind of what comes with not posting for a day. People are wondering, why don't you just work 24/7 on it? And I'm like, I'd be homeless if I did. I make no money at Wham anymore because look at this, 22 people watching out of 130,000 subscribers. YouTube has done an interesting thing, completely shadow banning me. So literally, if I go a day without posting a video, I go broke. And I've been going a couple days trying to get this documentary up. So it's a little bit frustrating from that perspective, but whatever. That's what happens. That's what happens when you're passionate about something in life. Life tries to screw you, but you just keep working, and it's all a test, and you just gotta keep it up. Christopher Cartwright, what's good, brother? Good to see you. Says can't wait. Thank you. I can't wait either. It's a living hell. It's a torture trying to get this documentary out. It truly is. I got a fly going around my face right now. Don't you love it when flies want to dive bomb you like straight into the nose and eyeball? Like, why? What? So annoying. Anyway, Michael Bates put a interesting looking face thing / eyeball / face thing. I feel the same, and that's how I felt for many days because it's been nonstop. So I was working on as much as I could, writing it, narrating it, writing the narration, going through all the clips, cutting down 30 hours of footage into, I think we're at about 3 hours right now. I'm hoping to get the film down to 2.5 hours long, which I know is long. Don't complain. It's as much as I could do. I cannot do any better than that right now on this time schedule. I really am rushing to get it up. So, let's see. Christopher Cartwright says new platform. Yeah, well, we are on float.app, flote.app. New social media. I'm really excited about it. It's in the description below. This is something that I've been waiting a long time for. And M. Chuko just released the 30 hours. No, I can't. I can't release 30 hours. That would just be a bunch of random clips. Just, I've got a fly that just wants to go directly in my eyeball right now. Very frustrating. It's almost as bad as Mauritania. But anyway, so yeah, I can't just put up a 30-hour video. That just doesn't work that way. I have to cut it down. It can't be raw like that. I promised I bring people a documentary, so I'm bringing people a documentary. I look disheveled because I am. And I'm getting really frustrated by the fact that there is literally a fly that feels a need to go directly into my eyeball when I'm trying to talk. That's annoying. Jason Hassler says, good day from the Gold Coast. Keep up the real reporting. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thomas Dorsey says, hello, everyone. If there was something, you would have released it immediately. Sorry, the truth. No, you're just an idiot. That's all. You don't know how editing works and film production works. But so be it. Michael Bates, don't be stressed. Take your time and kill that fly. I would like to kill that fly. I just can't do anything about it. No, I mean, I'm working on getting it up. It has to be up by July 31st. It's been months. I've also been waiting on footage from someone for 2 months, and I haven't been able to get it. So it's been really, really frustrating from that angle as well. And it's just taking forever. So, but with that said, I'm coming to the end. So again, for those just tuning in, I'm an hour and 50 minutes in. And I'm doing whatever I can to get it out. Remember, it's also clipped with a scripted storyline that breaks down ancient civilizations, the theory behind a helping hand, and the fingerprints of the gods kind of thing, and magicians of the gods kind of thing, out of Graham Hancock's words. Breaking down ancient civilizations from cataclysm to the star alignments to weathering and aging of these structures throughout the world, the similarities between them, the religious factors that play into it, and bringing that all together with the story of Atlantis and going to the reshot to look for Atlantis. I'm Chuko says, were you really impressed by the site? Absolutely. I was amazed by the site. I want to go back, and I am going back because there's more I need to get, because I was really railroaded by government and some individuals that pushed me back a little bit. The people I went with, not them. It's just the government and the ability to actually explore things was really, really repressed, I guess, or suppressed. I was doing whatever I could. Again, I'm very tired. I've been just working nonstop from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. Then the second I get up, before I even get my coffee, I'm already clicking on things on the computer and readying the editing and getting the scripts up and all that, the transcript that I wrote. I'm not even finished the transcript yet. I'm an hour and 50 minutes into the documentary, but from there on, I had some technical issues getting clips together, so I have to basically redo and cut down all the footage after that point onward so that I can get it up, which means I'm going to be cutting and pasting a lot of clips that I had already cut and pasted, so that put me behind about 3 days initially. So I have to do that and then write narration over top of it, then record the narration, then edit it and then cut it down more and cut it and paste it and put it into the timelines and everything. And yeah, anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing right away. Before I go to bed tonight, I'm finishing that, and I have to write an interview for tomorrow. I have a video that I haven't posted yet about France and their economy from a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it's still relevant today, so I'm still planning on posting it, but it's just been really frustrating because whenever I post these screen grab videos, no one watches them, and I lose a ton of subscribers. Krelux Gmail sent me $50. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. That is huge, especially these days. They said, thank you, Josh, for all your hard work. We really appreciate more than you know. this is a thing because I've been thinking a lot lately about cutting down YouTube to just being a hobby and finding other ways to live because I can't make money off of this. I'm seriously dying right now. Like I don't have money. I went bankrupt going to Mauritania and it destroyed my channel for a couple months down the line. I lost my average viewership by up to about 90% for videos. Now it's back up to I've now lost it about 75% of my viewership since I went to Mauritania, and I lost all of my money there, and I'm unable to pay rent and stuff. So it's really bad. And then I'm just getting a lot of people badgering me and yelling at me about it. So it feels so good to see so many great people that know that this stuff takes time and they appreciate what I've done. I do want to announce here, and by the way, that $50 seriously makes me able to eat. So I really appreciate that. I do want to announce a donor, someone who appreciates my work as well, is paying my flight to Turkey in September. So in September into October, I will be in Turkey, driving through the country, going to ancient sites, including Göbekli Tepe, Derinkuyu, and a few others. Hopefully, the ancient city of Troy as well. I'm going to be documenting it. I'm not going to promise a documentary because that's been a living hell for me, meeting up to my obligations. But with that said, we will be doing reporting and reports on the site and in-depth reports on all these ancient sites because Turkey is one of the most incredible places in the entire world. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, I'm not paying for that trip. Someone was really good, great to me, and was able to pay my flight. We've been talking for a few months since I posted a video on Göbekli Tepe earlier this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm trying to work in any way I can to ensure that I'm able to get into some interesting sites and report on these incredible sites and drive tourism to these great places as well. Fly on the Wall sent Canadian $5.49. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You are much better than the fly that's trying to dive bomb my eyeball right now. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Again, these super chats make it possible for me to survive right now. So I can't thank you enough. It's huge. It really is. Batman says, congratulations. Thank you very much. There's a place in Turkey called Batman. I don't think it's pronounced Batman, but it's spelled Batman, called Batman or something. I don't know. It's called Batman though. It's crazy. I'm looking on the map, finding places to go in Turkey right now, and I couldn't help but notice a place called Batman. Anyway, Droidy Pendejo says, I like turkey sandwiches. I don't. They put me to sleep. Michael WTF. That's what I think all day, every day, I have to admit. That's a common thing on my mind. Fly on the Wall. Wish I could do more. I'm Chuko says, it sent $15. Keep up the hard work. All good things take time. I appreciate that. I completely agree. I spent many years making $0 here at WAM. Like nothing. No money at all. And it was really difficult to do. I have to say, over the years, doing this kind of stuff for free and then starting to make money and then enough money to live on. All I want is just enough money to live on so I can report on these things and bring people free information. But it's becoming increasingly more difficult as I'm shadow banned, etc. But I can't thank you enough. Fly on the Wall. It doesn't matter if you could do it. You wish you could do more. That's fine. The amount of money you sent makes a huge difference. Seriously, $1 makes a huge difference to me right now. It's as long as I'm still allowed to be monetized by YouTube too. I'm sure it won't be long before I can't even take super chats, which is why I urge everyone to send their email to worldalternativemedia@gmail.com with subject line yes. Subject line yes, and you will be included in our newsletter. So that's a big one. 731 says close your window. I have no window open. No window's open. It's Las Vegas. Trust me, you don't have your window open at this time of year. That's how you die. My air conditioning is full blast and I'm still sweating, so says a bit about that. Let's see. And another option, of course, is Bitcoin. For all that are interested, Bitcoin makes a huge difference. So I appreciate anything that people can help with there. Bitcoin is, if it's not totally terrible this week, It does make a huge difference. So anyway, um, Charles Mullins asks, how much money do you need a week to function? Now, that's an interesting question. It depends if I'm traveling to report on something or if I'm just sitting at home. If I'm just sitting at home, how much I need to function? Well, with the amount of money that goes into bills and all that kind of stuff and rent and the craziness of that and my vehicle that I bought in the bull market of crypto and I'm regretting every day now, all that kind of stuff, I would say to function properly, I think I need about $5,000 a month. And so split that 4 ways. I am terrible at math and I've been editing all day, so I don't know what that is. Oh man, I'm telling you, dividing odd numbers into even numbers when I'm half asleep is not a good thing. Your blinds are open. Yeah, is that like this annoying someone? Sorry. Oh, there we go. Oh man, James Cephas says, may Jesus bless you and you as well, sir. Thank you so much for the 50 Canadian dollars. That goes a long, long way. I really appreciate that. That's huge. That allows me to eat tomorrow. It really is down to that point. It's so sad that it's gotten to this point, but it's literally down to that because YouTube has, and myself to some extent, I did it to myself as well by traveling to crazy places and not having necessarily a great plan. I've lost a lot of subscribers for that, but YouTube especially is just shadow banning me and not letting people see my videos. Androidi Pendejo says 3750. Fireteam Michael says 1250 weekly. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's about what I would need to ensure that I could live and survive. Purge says 5K a month for a single guy. You need to cut that in half. Well, not a single guy. I'm with my girlfriend as well. I'm eating for 2 people and everything and all that. So it's not just for one person. There are certain laws in the United States regarding visas and all sorts of crazy stuff that make it impossible to actually for my girlfriend to get a job here at the moment. So it's been really difficult from that perspective. We're like packing up and moving to the United States for half the time, and it's just it's really disrupted our lives. It was good when we decided it, but then our money went downhill like really fast. Not from my own doing, but more from YouTube deciding after I interviewed David Icke earlier this year that I'm not allowed to have viewers anymore. So it's like, look at this. I have 130,000 subscribers, and I know it's late, but I have 51 people watching out of 130,000 subscribers. That speaks pretty loud and clear. Kralu Gmail says you should also accept Bitcoin Cash, BCH. It's much faster and cheaper to transact than Bitcoin. I believe I have Bitcoin Cash noted in the description. Oh no, I have Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dash. My bad. I keep meaning to put Bitcoin on there, or Bitcoin Cash. My apologies. I should probably update the description of this video because it doesn't actually. It's from my last news report about New Orleans. But anyway, yeah. I mean it's been tough, but one way or another we always get through it. We always find a way. By the way, I'm on BitChute, BITCHUTE, as World Alternative Media for those that are interested. Also linked below. I'm trying to post all my content on BitChute. I'm just trying to catch up right now. So that's big. But float.app, FLOTE.app, that's a huge one. Let's see. Fireteam Michael, quality production content isn't cheap, especially without corporate sponsors or resources of huge multinational media conglomerates. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, in a lot of cases, we get more views than the mainstream media, which gets hundreds of millions of dollars to billions of dollars like the CBC in Canada. But we do it for free, and we don't have the sponsors and all that kind of stuff. And that's a downside. That definitely affects us. But it's easy to make good quality content if your soul's in it. You have the passion, and it's really hard to be passionate when the harder that you work, the more they take you down. So I think they're just trying to destroy my morale right now. Kunal Kath says, "Hi, I'm from India. I love your work." Hello, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. And actually, India is another place I want to go right away soon. India is incredible. There's so much history there. I'm trying to report on ancient civilizations in all these places. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm an hour and 50 minutes into my documentary. MIGTOE says e-bagging again. Dude, you spend all your time just trolling people's comments. I'm pretty sure you're either 12 or incredibly pathetic. Whatever it may be, I hope you get the help you need. But anyway, Red Rum Twin says hello. Hello to you. Great to see you as always. Fire Team Michael is this. Oh, someone's going to clip that out and say that I'm racist. Red Room Twins, who's going to give the highest contribution? That's a good question. I like that question very much. But anyway, this always turns into this whole money thing. I just wanted to tell people how much it means to me when they send this. Blurk Eager sent $5. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot. It means a lot. I appreciate that. And it goes a really, really long way. And anyway, for those just tuning in, I am working on my documentary. I've been working day and night. That's why I haven't been posting content lately. That's why the money subject came in for those that are just tuning in, because I have been losing all my money just working 24/7 on this and not producing content otherwise. But anyway, I'm working on the documentary. I'm an hour and 50 minutes in. I've decided not to put music into the background because it's it's inefficient at this point. It's really difficult. Christopher Cartwright, gotta go, brother. Have a good night. I'll see you. I'll see if I have any crypto to donate in the morning, bro. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. Have yourself a good night. But yeah, I'm an hour and 50 minutes in, and I'm cutting it more raw than I wanted to because I don't really have a choice. It's down to a point where I don't really have the ability to cut it down in the time frame I have, because again, I'm releasing it by July 31st, and we are running up on that real fast. I got an interview I must do later today or tomorrow, wherever you are in the world, on the 28th. So I will be getting that up. Fly trying to go in my mouth. I will be getting that up, but otherwise, I'm just going to focus on this, and then I'm going to be doing as much content as I can before I have to go to Europe to report on a few places. Migto, get a real job, he says. Dude, you spend all your time, again, trolling people on YouTube. Your job is to make people's lives miserable. That makes your very existence pathetic. And you know what? Do whatever you do. I don't really care. I am now officially hiding you on this channel because it's been 2 years of nonsense. Okay, anyway. So, goodbye. Sai Ming Liang, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, sent Australian $5. Thank you so much. How's it going? I like that little emoji. I've never seen that on the super chats. Interesting, very interesting. Thank you very much for that. That means a lot. Christopher Cartwright says LOL. 100% Canadian maple syrup. World Alternative Media from a drunk amateur. You are a valuable personality. How many subs did you have at one point? There are sponsors and options to monetize, maybe .ca or merch when doable. Yeah, I'm trying to do that, and you put that sentence together rather well for someone that's drunk, so I appreciate your comment. Yeah, we are working on that. It's just when we're shadow banned, it's really difficult to get sponsors because it's less lucrative for people to have sponsorships on our show when we can't reach people, because even if we do something with like Robert Kiyosaki, they suppress it and don't let people see it, where in the past you get almost 1 million views. If you notice on YouTube searches, it's all mainstream media these days. Anyway, Red Rum Twin sent $100. Thank you so much. That's huge. Thank you. Awesome. This is turning into a really good night for me. I'm glad I did this at the last second. In the middle of my editing fever. He said, Josh, when are you going to do some more hard-hitting interviews with Justin Trudeau? Did you get in trouble the last time you confronted him? Well, I'm not legally allowed to be within, I think, 200 feet of him or something like that. I heard from the Prime Minister's office, because last time I got in his face and called him a scumbag, I was essentially banned from being around him. And I just don't know how I got into that press briefing. Still to this day, it's crazy. But good night, Michael. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I'm going to try to. I'm in the United States right now. I want to get to Canada. Well, I will be in Canada in October for the Winnipeg Crypto Conference, as well as to go home in Winnipeg and also see my family and everything like that. So I will be in Canada then, and I've been really wanting to try and get him. I almost got him in Paris recently. He was in Paris, France, where I was coming back from the reshot structure up the coast. It was cheapest to fly out of Paris to Las Vegas from there. It was $3,700 to go from Casablanca to Winnipeg. But if you took all these trains and everything, went up Spain to Paris, it was about $1,300, I think, in total. So, I mean, the cheapness of it is it's crazy compared to flying straight to Winnipeg. And that, by the way, that was from Paris to Vegas. So it's a huge step. Briggs, Josh, thumbs up. Thank you. To you as well. 100% Canadian maple stirrup. I almost forgot. Stirrup. Stirrup like from, when you're riding horses and stuff. Or anyway, don't go back to a job. You're a star and people value your content, so please don't give up. Thanks for reading. I'm poor as hell, but I am sincere. Good job with True Dumb. Hashtag bipartisan gangbang. Hashtag wow. I appreciate your passion. I'm doing what I can. I'm not as much of a star as I used to be, but I'm not going to let that stand in my way of doing what I love and bring people free content. That's a huge thing for me. Again, I did this for a long time for free. It's not about the money. It's about bringing people free content, and thousands of people like it, and thousands of people don't. But the thousands of people don't, I really don't care. But I do listen to criticism, and I try to do the best I can. But anyway, I really appreciate that. And if you're poor as hell, please don't send money. For those interested, I just I reach out with stuff like Bitcoin and stuff for people that have Bitcoin and for the super chats. But if you're like bankrupt, broke, please don't send me money. I'll feel terrible. You're probably in the same situation as I am in, or possibly worse. But anyway, I appreciate it, everyone. Briggs says, buy dat Bitcoin. Well, right now, because it's so depressing. Right now, yeah, definitely, it's low. Thomas Dorsey says, appreciate your content. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. And let's see, Fire Team Michael says, keep up the great work. Discovered you by chance not too long ago. Reminds me of the content exposing truth we grew up with in the 80s, 90s. Most equivalent nowadays lack objectivity. Yeah, well, I try to bring a bit of the style in of the 80s investigation kind of journalism into it. Public access television. There's so much great public access television from the 70s and 80s that we forget about. G. Edward Griffin has, I feel like, hundreds of interviews with people that people haven't seen yet, and it's in his library, and I'm trying to get him to publish it on YouTube. But that's a great example. This is why he was one of the godfathers of independent media. Let's see. Sin City Taoist says, by the way, I switched from supporting you on Patreon to Subscribestar. Thank you. For anyone interested, we have Subscribestar linked below. Subscribestar allows us to essentially bring people content and do subscriber-only content. And it's just more efficient than Patreon. So we are trying to shift over there, as well as Float for crypto Patreon alternative. And it's a social media. So this is what's great about Float.app, FLOTE.app. What's great about Float.app is that it's a Patreon alternative, a Facebook alternative, a YouTube alternative, a Twitch alternative. It's going to be a Tumblr alternative for the ladies that like to sell content as well, NSFW kind of stuff as well. So that's a business. It's a Twitter alternative. They want to make it more of an Instagram alternative as well. They're bringing all of these huge social media networks into one, and I know how hard they've worked on it. I'm going to be interviewing Kingsley Edwards on it soon. A friend of mine just met with him for lunch today or dinner or whatever. I can't remember. It's been a blur. So I'm going to be bringing more of that to you soon. So get on float.app, FLOTE.app. that's going to be the future of social media. I'm sure of it. It's amazing what they're doing there, and they give you the option to do crypto, alternative payments to Patreon with monthly donations. Anyway, let's see. Red Room Twins. I'm not a Bitcoin fan. You called me a troll when I said that as a comment once. Your biggest donor, a troll. I don't look. I don't notice a lot of the names on YouTube. It's the thing about text on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter is that when you get when you get certain comments, you read them in one way with a certain emphasis when they mean something else. So I apologize if I snapped on someone, but I get a lot of these really big troll comments about crypto claiming that I'm like being paid by Bitcoin. It's really frustrating because Bitcoin doesn't pay people. It's an idea. It's not an entity. It's a thing. So anyway, fly on the wall. Drake says, how are you not Brave browser verified yet? I don't know. Someone's supposed to be working on that for me, and they haven't. I just haven't had time, so I gotta get on that myself. Fly on the wall. You have such valuable content. Can't wait to see your documentary. Honestly, my husband and I love your channel. I really appreciate that, and I'm going to do the best. I really hope no one's disappointed. It's gonna kill me because I don't really care that much about what people think of me, but my content, on the other hand, if I do a bad job, it affects me, and I want to bring you the best content possible. But I can only bring you what I found there and what I saw, and I was seriously railroaded by government when I was out there in general. Thomas Dorsey, Josh, if you keep exploring the lost ancient world, your channel will grow to unbelievable numbers. All love. Yeah, I think that might be the case. There's a lot more interest in the mysteries of the universe and the world and humanity and civilizations and all that kind of stuff, and energy and frequency and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to bring you content out of Turkey as well coming up soon for those just tuning in. I am going to Turkey in September thanks to a donor who saw my Göbekli Tepe video earlier this year and is buying me tickets to fly over there with him. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also meeting up with Josh Friedman, who's a great journalist on YouTube that everyone should check out. Just Google or YouTube Josh Friedman. Anyway, Friedman. He's got great content documenting things around the world. So I'm meeting up with him there. We're going to get a lot of good stuff done. I'm looking forward to it. Chuko says, have you ever spoken to Graham Hancock? Once I spoke to Graham Hancock over email, but nothing more than that. So I'm looking forward to getting that. That's like the only interview, really the big one, that I haven't done yet in my life. So I'm really hoping to get that done soon in the future because I've interviewed like everyone. So anyway, that's why I'm getting to this point where it's like, okay, I'm talking about how great anarchy is and freedom and sound money and economics and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to continue to do that, but I feel like there's so much that's unexplored that we need to investigate in person. And it's one thing to say this is cut and dry, this is economics. It's another thing to say we don't know the answers to this yet, and I think that's very interesting. Mama wrote, wow, you got $300 in donations. I'm in Turkey. Well, that's great. Where in Turkey are you? Trying to say hi to a few people while I'm there. Sorry, this fly is still, it's like a fruit fly, so it's even harder to get at. Anyway, let's see. Richard Howe says, I was surfing YouTube before I went to sleep, and I see you. I don't know why I am subscribed to you, but I am. What do you do? So I report on news stories from around the world, and unlike mainstream media and many independent media, sorry, this fly is driving me crazy. Unlike mainstream media and independent medias from around the world, what I do is I try to talk about the story that scares you. You should be scared, but what I do with that is give people solutions. I want to give people solutions to the problems that we see around the world, and there's more solutions than there are problems. So I try to scare people and then end it with a positive message. So it's like, here's the facts. You should be worried, but here are all the things that you can do to improve your life and improve the world around you for yourself and for your family. So I think that's really important. Anyway, that's what I do. But I also report on ancient civilizations and weird stuff. I do whatever I want, really. That's the thing with my media. I was always glad that I started an independent media called, World Alternative Media, because that leaves it wide open to do whatever I want, really, and explore all these incredible ideas and weird things and mysteries around the world. So that means a lot to me. Simon Leong sent Australian $50. Thank you so much. Please don't sway away and back down. I followed you and Paul Joseph Watson. Thank you very much. That's one person I haven't interviewed, actually. Met him once or talked with him once. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. This has been an incredible live stream. I should live stream more in the middle of the night. But I really appreciate that. And I won't back down. I'll never give up. My whole thing is that I've been losing viewership, losing subscribers like crazy the harder I work. And I know it's mostly artificial. YouTube's just deleting people en masse. So it's been a bit difficult. It's been really hard on my morale lately. You know, when I'm in Europe and I'm reporting on sites in Europe and reporting on local stories there, you know, I'll feel a bit better. Though I know I'm going to lose a lot of audience for that. I did last time I was in France and in Spain to report on stuff there. But with that said, you know, live and let live. Do what you can and try to do the best you can for others and yourself. But you have to fix yourself before you can fix other things around you, right? Kunal Kath says, oh, by the way, Mama says I'm in Istanbul. I'm only going to be in Istanbul for a very brief period of time. But hopefully we can say hi and grab some tea. I don't know what they drink there, but I think it's tea. I think there's tea in Turkey. Hopefully coffee. I'll need it. Kunal Kath says, hey, although off content, I would like to draw your attention between huge similarities between East India Company rule of India and American government rule over its people. Similar process, similar results. It's an interesting idea. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I don't know what to say to that, but my big issue is that people are allowing themselves to be ruled. We've grown so far apart from the necessity of government. We can use governance, but not government. Electropig von Fuckengruven. I've seen you around my channel for a long time, but I can never pronounce that. The trouble with economics, they said, is that most people don't really get it until after the crash finally happens. Then they start to think, I should be paying attention to this. Yeah, and then 10 years or 15 years later, it happens again, and they forget about it. And, oh, but this time it's better, and we know how to handle it this time. It's a sad reality. 100% Canadian maple syrup. Do it, Josh. Always, always, always. Just do it. Just do it. I like Nike's slogan. It's pretty good. Solomon Jenkins, capitalism is no tool. It is the absence of tools. Then my hands aren't tools, but I built things with them. Richard House says, what city and state are you broadcasting from? I'm in Wyoming now. Hey, you're just a bit up north from me. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada at the moment, in the bloody heat of Las Vegas. And actually, I saw there was a huge snowstorm recently in Wyoming. But, you know, I've been to Yellowstone lots of times. I love it. It smells like sulfur. It makes me sick after a while. But I love the scenery and the simplicity of the state with the ruggedness at the same time. But you find snow up in the mountains in the middle of July. Layla says, it's Turkish coffee. Josh, seriously. I need some cappuccinos when I'm out there. Everyone laughs at me about cappuccinos. They're like, ooh, bougie. And I'm like, cappuccinos are 3 times as strong as normal coffees. So, I don't know. Mama says, what do you think about the dollar and the euro? I guess that both of them are crashing. Well, they're crashing at different paces, right? People are always like, the dollar is doing great against the euro is doing great against the dollar. And it's like, it's a race to the bottom, folks. They're just falling at different paces. It's not a good thing. But all fiat currencies eventually revert to the true value of zero. Always have, always will, going back to 1024 AD in China. And this time's no different. You've heard it before. Let's see. I saw there's some other comments here. Red Rum Twin says, good job, donors. Josh is worth it. Thank you so much. Yeah, seriously. The super chats here have seriously made my week because I've lost every cent I have lately just working on all of this this documentary and everything. And I have this terrible feeling, I shouldn't think so negatively, but I have this terrible feeling that I'm going to do all of this work, get it up, and then like no one's going to watch it, and YouTube's going to restrict viewership, and people just won't care. So, or people will just really not like the documentary and attack me because it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes in total altogether, and there's nothing I could do about it. I cut it down 30 hours. So anyway, do what I can. Anyway, let's see. Thomas Dorsey, LA, the city of angels here. Dorsey. Tommy Dorsey. Why does that sound so... And the Shondells? I don't know. Isn't that a band? And Jack Dorsey as well from Twitter. Thomas Dorsey says LA, the city of angels here. I feel like it was once. I like LA around certain areas, but LA proper, oh my God. What a fall. To watch a city rise and fall like that. It's like Atlantis. Kak Khan Le says, do you know about Liberland, a volunteer's country? Yeah, I was just on Liberland's podcast earlier this week. Was interviewed by them. I love the idea, and Avit Jedlicka, the president, is a friend of mine. We talk often, off and on. I've interviewed him a few times, interviewed the representatives as well, and he reacts to all my ridiculous Facebook pictures. So, yeah, it's interesting to have a president on your friend list. Let's see. I have so many comments coming. I can't keep up, so I got to scroll down a bit. Marshmallow Duck says, "Are you going to storm Area 51? Isn't it terrible that I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, and everyone's flying into Nevada, and at the same time as people are flying in, I have to go to Turkey? It's just the timing, but oh well. The Turkey trip was booked beforehand, and honestly, I'm way more excited with that than going into the middle of the Mojave Desert, and there's like nothing, and then a bunch of people and like they are watching us t-shirts standing there. I don't know about that. It's probably Ford Fisher, I'm sure, will be there. I feel like he's going to be there. He was just staying at my house, and he seems interested. Luke Radowski wanted to go there with me a few days ago, and I just told him no. I do not want to drive to Area 51. PC Gone Mad, 3142536. His nice name. Says, surely you don't believe in man-made global warming, Josh. We've done a few videos with climatologists on that. But I'm not going to alienate my audience right now. But yeah, I'm not a big... it happens, but to a very slight degree compared to what we're told. No doubt about it. It's a huge cash grab. And a lot of big players have made a lot of money off of scaring people with the most mysterious and most unpredictable thing in the world, weather. Let's see. Lightning Rod... Surely you do not deny AGW, huh? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm really tired, by the way. I'm very like disheveled and stuff because I've been just working on my documentary all day. Gunther now says Tommy James in the Shondells. Okay, then there's another Dorsey other than Jack Dorsey. Anyway. Tommy James and the Shondells. They have some good music. Nobody is storming Area 51, you fool. Yeah. I mean, why not storm like the Federal Reserve? Why waste your time on some... Like, what are you going to go into... Get shot? And Jeff Berwick actually had a good statement on this at AnarchoVegas last week, which, by the way, was a huge success. Next is Anarchadelphia in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which I'll be speaking at in September. Link below for that. Use promo code WHAM and save 10% on your tickets. Anyway, now that I've finished saying that, Jeff Berwick was talking at AnarchoVegas about storming Area 51 and then storming the Federal Reserve, and he's like, what are you going to do? Go into the Federal Reserve and get in, and then once you get in there, there's a bunch of people like writing words on paper, a bunch of idiot Keynesians, and what are you supposed to be like, stop that, don't do that. And they're going to be like, what do you want? It's writing words. I don't know. It's funny when he said it. Let's see. Solomon Jenkins says, lol, Josh, when you read my comment, you gave it no context. I was responding to someone who claimed that capitalism was as evil as government, referring to both of them as tools. Oh, okay. My apologies. I'm just scrolling through comments. I'm just seeing things as they stand. I got too many comments coming in to read them all. Let's see. 100% Canadian Maple Syrup says, you're a bad mofo, Josh. Turdy is scary. Stones of Steel. A lot of people... Oh, Turkey. I thought you were talking about Trudeau, and we're going to call him Turdy. A lot of people do that. Turkey. Yeah, well, I mean, I actually think Turkey's... most of these places that people are told to be scared of aren't as scary as they actually are. I'm going to Iraq as well in the next year. to look at ancient places. And I know a lot of people who are white, by the way, who have just hitchhiked across the whole country. But yeah, there's concerns, and I'm going to do my best as I can. But here's the thing I often say. Fear allows you to live. It stops you from running into traffic. It keeps you alive, but it also stops you from living. It stops you from living because you are afraid of doing things, and it holds you back, and you never reach your true potential. So I think it's important that we all face fears. And it was always scary for me to go to Mexico. I went to Mexico. I loved it. Then it was always scary for me to go to, Africa and hitchhike in Mauritania, by the way, and have my tire blow out in the middle of the Sahara Desert and sleep in hostels where I thought I was going to get a disease with sewage running outside, but I survived, and it was the most amazing experience of my life. Let's see. News Now Canada, independent media. What's up? It's Donald. Did you see the video of the pedo in Vancouver trying to assault me and Dan? Yeah, check out Press for Truth on YouTube. Dan got in trouble with Jessica Yaniv, or Jonathan Yaniv. Weird video. It's most meme-worthy content I've seen in a while. Definitely check that out. It's hitting all the mainstream medias right now. Let's see. Thomas Dorsey, Josh, correct. Global warming is not that significant. Richard Howe, Tommy Dorsey was a big band leader in the 1920s to 50s. Yes, that is what it is. Sorry, I got excited there because I knew I remembered it. I'm a big fan of old music. I'm talking like I actually find 80s music to be rather new. So same with film. Like I only like really film, but below 1960. People think I'm crazy. Well, there's another reason to think I'm crazy. But yeah, Tommy Dorsey. That's it. The big band leader. All right. I appreciate you noting that. Not a lot of people know that fact, so thanks for reminding me. I've been too fixed on all this ancient civilization stuff. I've forgotten about a lot of stuff lately. Sai Ming Liang says, Brother Josh, what time is it in your place? It is currently 10:15 p.m. Gunther now says, Josh, you're a classic man. I try to be. That's why I comb my hair, but like over to be like 1940s, 1930s. Doesn't work out too well right now. Like again, I'm disheveled and feel like crap because I'm sweaty from the heat. I have a fan going. I got my air conditioning going, but guess what? Air conditioning, no matter how good it is, does not work that well in Las Vegas when it's like 110 degrees in the middle of the night. Anyway, let's see. Thomas Dorsey says, Briggs, get the hell out of here with that religious nonsense. I'm not going to get into religion, though I do like looking at the ancient religions, which I'm going to be doing in my documentary. You're going to see that as well. Peace Love Star says, any chance you would collaborate with Brian and Jimmy on future videos? I have collaborated on Brian Forrester on 2 videos. One over the internet, one in person in Mexico. I did a video with him on Pumapunku that like no one's seen, just breaking down the ancient sites of Pumapunku and Machu Picchu, and a bit in Bolivia and Cuzco and stuff like that, Tiwanaku, But I would love to collaborate with Brian more. And what sucks is I'm going to be in Turkey at the same time as him, but I won't see him. So I'm a little bit off his schedule of going to these ancient sites, which is a shame. I've been talking with him a bit about it, and I want to do a lot of work with him. And honestly, I want to try and meet up with him in Central or South America in the next year to report on some sites. I'm fascinated. I've never been to them. I'm fascinated by the Aztec, Mayan, and Incan sites. I've seen kind of the remnants of one site in Mexico, but not much of it. In Acapulco, ancient place. But anyway, yeah, I really want to do some collaboration with him. As for Bright Insight, he's too big for me, man. I remember when he had 200 subscribers. Now he has like 1 million, and I can't keep up. He's been doing incredible work. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Would love to work with him. I'm not sure if that's going to work. I've reached out for an interview. I've talked with him before. Really nice guy. I've talked with him, but I haven't been able to get an interview down. I don't think he does them, honestly, so that's unfortunate. Anyway, Solomon Jenkins sent Canadian $10. Thank you so much. Again, all this money is making it possible for me to survive. I hope YouTube doesn't cut down too much of this money. But I don't know. I just really appreciate it. It makes such a huge difference in my life. the viewers make all this possible. I can't do it without you. You make it so that I could actually put out free content. Because again, people forget, like, this is all free content, and I do it. I could make money off all of this. I could be completely on a subscription basis. But my whole job is to bring people the evidence of the truth, the stories from around the world, and I can't do that without people donating, really. Monetization is just not an option anymore, and sponsorship is difficult when I'm being so incredibly railroaded by YouTube and shadow banned. So anyway, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Richard House says, Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra played swing music in the World War II era when the soldiers came home and partied. That's right. And he was featured in a few old films as well, live on stage. Back before music videos, they'd have just like little musical parts in the middle of a film. Not necessarily musicals, but just in the middle of a film where they'd be playing on stage, and then they'd buy the band a drink and say, hey, how's it going? And shake hands and on to the next scene. Marshmallow Duck, bye. I'm going to bed. Good night. Good night as well to you. I know this is a little late. Who's watching where it's daytime? Anyone watching this right now and it's daytime? Because it's getting late here. Still got a bit of editing to do tonight. I want to take a quick break to let everyone know what was going on, though. Peace Love Star says, do you have a Patreon or another way to help support? I do have Patreon linked below in the description. I have Subscribestar and I have Float for crypto, Patreon alternative donations, and all that. So I have all those. And let's see, I want to bring this up on the screen. I got Bitcoin for Bitcoin tips as well, which make a huge difference in my life, makes it possible for me to do things, assuming I don't lose it all in a boating accident. And yeah, so there's a lot of options, but I do have Patreon. I have GoFundMe as well, and they actually allow recurring payments on GoFundMe. Only a couple people, I think 2 or 3 people over the years have done that. But yeah, anyway, 1 second here. This is what's going to attract the fly. Opening a sugary drink. Still haven't got that mofo. Let's see. Uchronia Utopia says UK 6:20 a.m. Well, you're up bright and early, aren't you? Steve Porthouse, New Zealand, 5:20 p.m. Okay, that's a more reasonable time of a day to watch videos. I apologize that I don't do these things for people, my viewers in Australia and New Zealand as often. I'm guessing then it's evening in China. Well, wait, no one sees us in China. Never mind. Anyone watching from Madagascar? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so Greg Brown, 3:21 p.m. in Eastern Australia at the moment. We're in Eastern Australia, Perth or something? Or no, that's West. Eastern Australia. What's in Eastern Australia? I'm really bad with geography when it comes to Australia. I should get it down more because I know a couple places on the West Coast, but I should get it down more because we have a ton of viewers in Australia. 100% Canadian maple stirrup. It says LMAO. Thomas Dorsey, it brightens our day when you live stream corny but funny. Yeah. Well, I never know what to do. I just press live, and here I am in front of people. Lightning Rod. Josh, reporting these days is a dangerous business in a dangerous world. Yeah, but I stopped thinking about danger years ago when I was looking behind my back after reading for the first time about Bilderberg. I just stopped caring. Paranoia is one of the greatest ways that can keep us from spreading information and being vigilant. Kunal Kath says it's 11 a.m. in India. All right. So practically most of the world is in the daytime right now. Gunther now says 1:22 a.m., but worth every minute, Josh. Thank you. I appreciate it. What else are you going to do at 1 in the morning, right? I mean, laying in bed on your phone or something. What else are you going to do? Steve Porthouse, Sydney. All right. Yeah, see, I need to brush up on that. I knew Perth was on the West Coast, right? I better not be wrong about that. Perth, West Coast. Anyway, 5:22 p.m. New Zealand, Tamworth, NSW. All right. Let's see. We got Golden Apple retracted their message. Ooh, are you up to no good there, hey? 100% Canadian maple stirrup. Badass mofo. Message held for review. I'm going to show that message. Steve Porthouse, YouTube tried to stop you from being seen. Uh, Perth is West D ass. All right. Anyway, West Coast. Yes. Okay. Matthew Z. Dust Bowl Blues. Jesus N M or Jesus. I'm guessing Jesus. Let's not be blasphemous here. Okay, let's not talk about crypto technology being deceptive. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I don't see all the messages. There's a bunch of messages coming. I can't see all of them. NSW, New South Wales. Oh, of course. I'm just learning more and more about Britain in the past couple months. It's amazing how little they teach us. You know, I know all about American geography. Americans know nothing about Canadian geography, and I'm starting to know what it's like now because people in the United States, when I tell them I'm from Canada, they're like, "What? Like, is that like Toronto?" Like, it's crazy. So, yeah, it's the same everywhere. You have a hard time understanding geology or geography. I know the geography now of the whole west coast of Africa, all through Spain and Italy and Switzerland and Germany and France and up through there, Belgium and the Netherlands, and then you can go up to Britain, New South Wales. You go to Scotland and then Ireland. I know about this stuff now. It took me a long time to really comprehend all of the coastal areas and geography, but nobody cares anyway. On to the next. Britain colonized about 70% of the world, says Thomas Dorsey. Yes, that is true. And you know what else? A private militia overthrew them in a huge plot of land, at least for like 15 years until they were taken over by the central banking system through Britain. Jesus NM says, "Oh, now you read that, scroll up, LOL." Well, there's a lot to scroll up. It's hard to find everything, but you know what? Okay, I'll do this for you. Better be worth it, though. This is a lot of people that I'm scrolling through, and it's just kind of glitching out here. Okay, it says, okay, your thoughts on crypto technology. Could it be leading humanity towards absolute control by tracking everything and everyone? Deception tech? To an extent, that's true, depending on what you mean by cryptocurrencies. There is, as far as cryptocurrencies, you have the centrally planned blockchain technology run through the banking system, through the governments in places like China, elsewhere, Sweden, Australia, etc. But then you have the decentralized, private, fundamentally useful currencies, especially the privacy coins, which break apart. So you have to like take one side with another and understand there's good and bad to everything. So you could say the same for a gun. You could take a gun to slaughter a whole bunch of innocent people, the government, or you could use that gun to save all those innocent people from being slaughtered. The decentralized version. So that's the way I look at it. Let's see. I got a message from Golden Apple says, "I feel your pain. Try telling Americans England is much more than London." Yeah, well, there's Manchester, and I haven't been there, so I don't know that much. But I got friends in Manchester. There's Liverpool. Anyway, it's too late for this BS. 100% Canadian maple syrup. Exactly, Josh. It has many faces. Precisely. There's the good and the bad. There's good and evil in all mankind. And it'll always be that way. It's what we do about it that makes a difference. And we can't be afraid of the technology because it's better that we just build on the technology and make it better for our side rather than be scared and allow the state and the banking system to build their own over top of us. But they're so inefficient, they'll fail. Let's see. Red Rome Twins, crypto, nothing backs it, and it has no intrinsic value. Buy gold and silver. Yeah, but as I mentioned with Doug Casey, we went over intrinsic value. There's no such thing as intrinsic value, and there's only subjective value. What gives gold value? You can't just say it's physical. Lots of things are physical. What gives gold value is scarcity, application, use, and demand. There's use cases. Doug Casey goes over very well what he thinks about subjectivity of value and how he came to learn that there is value in crypto, but everything has value if you're trading it between two people mutually and you decide between two people that you've decided on a value. Then it has value. Fiat has value. What's wrong with when you're trading it? But what's wrong with fiat isn't necessarily the existence of fiat. I mean, though it's printed like crazy and there's no scarcity, which subjectively but objectively over history has brought down value. But on top of that, they've enforced it through social contract usury, so that's what makes a big difference. So that's really important to bring up and note. LVL Mendoza says, I've been waiting for months. Can't wait any longer. I got back 2 months ago, and it's 30 hours of footage. So for my documentary, I will. Sorry, this fly has been not leaving me alone since I started this video. Oh my god. Anyway, so as far as the documentary goes, I'm an hour and 50 minutes into it. For those just tuning in, I'm almost finished. I've got a couple days left. I'm doing an interview. I've been losing all my money just focusing on getting the documentary done in time for July 31st because I promised this month. So it will be up by July 31st. I just can't score it, and it's going to be a bit more raw than I wanted it to be because I don't have time to score it and edit it down as much as I'd like. So it'll probably end up being 2 hours and 45 minutes. But for those that are frustrated about how long it takes, try producing a documentary. Most people I know, it takes them like 7 or 8 months to produce a documentary. And remember, it's just me by myself while posting videos every single day, and in some cases 5 videos a day. So imagine that, working on all that stuff to make a living so I don't go homeless at the same time as doing this documentary. It's incredibly difficult to do, and most places have production teams of like 80, seriously, about 80 people working on a documentary at a time at a TV network. So when you see things from like a week ago on TV, that's because they're cutting it into different parts and cutting it all together and bringing it all together with a huge team, and they do it really fast. I'm one person, and I take a couple days off to work on a documentary, and I lose all my money. So, it needs to be said. Anyway, on to the next. Fly on the wall. Honestly, raw footage would be perfect. Yeah. Well, I will release a bunch of raw clips in 4K to subscribers only on Subscribestar and Float. See, the reason I'm not doing that all together because I need to wrap this up and give reason. I can't just put 30 hours of 4K footage on my channel. Besides, it would take like 5 weeks to upload by itself because that's a lot of content. I have to make something. I need to produce it and bring it together and make it make sense and explain the background and all that. So I'm narrating it, I'm producing it, I'm doing cuts between on the road and in studio. It's been a lot to put together, and I honestly rushed the transcript together really, really fast. I'm not super happy with my transcript, but I think it'll make the point, and it's still good. It's just, as I'm editing it, there's all these things that I wish I could go back on and change, but I'm on a time limit, and I'm doing whatever I can. 100% Canadian maple syrup. Upload pains. Yes, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Like, seriously, I've had issues like my internet. Well, Las Vegas internet's terrible. I should just put that out in the front. But it's been really difficult in the past to upload certain things. Like Ron Paul, I interviewed him earlier this week. For those that haven't seen it, check out our interview with Ron Paul. And I had to rush it up because I did it the same day I uploaded it, and I had to reduce the quality of the footage in order to get it up on time. Mega How-To Man says GLD ETF is all fake mining companies. Absolutely. ETF is all fake, but again, everything has value if you give it value and two people mutually come to a decision that something has value. So but I am going to be interviewing a guy over gold tomorrow and or today, the 28th anyway, and we'll be interviewing him about gold and what brings gold value and the mining industry and all that. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you because it's an exciting time for gold after years of suppression by banks. Speaking of gold, a little insight. They thought we were going to steal gold from the ground in the reshot structure, so they were like really insistent that we don't do ground penetrating radar and everything. A whole nightmare in Mauritania. Let's see. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Gunther now says 2,000 gold soon. Well, we can hope. We can hope. But eventually it'll be at $2 trillion per ounce because the US dollar is going to be worth absolutely nothing. Anyway, XRPB R3 Corda Settler will allow trillions to be unlocked from Nostro accounts around the world. All right, I don't understand that at all. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just starting to tune out because I have been just up all day editing. So I will be tuning out right away. Again, those super chats made a huge difference. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for that. It's huge, and it makes it possible for me to survive. So for all those that sent super chats, thank you so much. All other options are linked below in the description. Check out float.app, float, F-L-O-T-E .app. That's float.app. I'm going to put it in the chat there, which is a new social media network. I'm going to be interviewing the creator. He's a good friend of mine. He's consulted with me in a lot of ways to make this great for content creators. And you know, again, it's an alternative to Patreon. It's an alternative to Facebook. It's an alternative to YouTube and Twitter. It's an alternative to Twitch. You can live stream and all that kind of stuff. It's an alternative to even Tumblr to an extent, and Reddit and all that kind of stuff. And it's just expanding. They're ironing out all the bugs right now because it's in beta mode right now. So, but it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see how it turns out. And you could pledge with crypto on it. Gunther now says cappuccinos do wear off eventually. Yes, that is true. And you know, I should have known before I went to Europe for the first time that all they really give you is cappuccinos. And you get a cappuccino, you say cafe con leche in a place like Spain, or you go to, you know, France and you ask for a cafe avec crème or à la crème, and you end up either way with a cappuccino that's crazy strong. And then you end up vibrating along the streets. You don't even have to walk. You just like float. Anyway, Rick Shepard, all the thumbs up. Thank you. And Fly on the Wall, going to check it. Float, we are starting a podcast very soon. You want to get on Float in the beginning. It's going to be huge. I guarantee it. I cannot wait. I'm seriously more excited about Float than any social media I've been on since when I first got on STEEMIT in the very beginning. And STEEMIT's gone downhill a lot. But I am on STEEMIT at Josh Sigurdson, if you're wondering. And anyway, so yeah, I'm on Float. Check out my Float. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. Correction, Float, F-L-O-T-E. And what is Float? Got to look that up. Just an alternative to literally everything. So check that out. It's in the links below. It's in beta mode. It was just released a couple days ago, and it's going to be huge. Anyway, for all those that have tuned in for all this rambling and raving, I really appreciate you tuning in and helping me out. And I've got hours and hours to go of editing still ahead of me before I have to write an interview, so I should probably get to that. But you guys make it worth it. I really appreciate it. I never expected all these super chats tonight, and they're seriously going to keep me alive this next week. So, again, thank you very much. You're all awesome, except for the people I muted who decide to troll people for a living, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.